we're going to talk a little bit about some advanced techniques. This is for green and above. You guys are starting to learn a little bit of Kali, our Filipino martial arts system, and we have a lot of different influencers from this. One of our influencers is Tuhan Ruby, and so a lot of what you're going to see here today comes from her. As advanced students, you guys should already know some warm-ups, but there are some really great things that you can also do with a stick. If you don't have your own personal stick at home, come on guys, go outside. You can find something that you can use that's stick-like. So let's talk first about some grip training. One thing that we like to do is, I think Ruby calls this caterpillar. And so you're going to start and be tough on yourself when you do this exercise. If you drop your weapon, you owe push-ups. So you owe push-ups on the weapon, on your knuckles, at least 10 every time you drop a weapon. And we're going to adhere to that today too. Oh, you're going to caterpillar up that. So caterpillar is where we hold with just the fingertips on the weapon. And we're going to creep and crawl, only using the fingertips. If I grab the whole weapon like this and do it, it's not the same thing. So we want to go fingertips only. And we want to creep and crawl our fingers all the way to the top. This bit is very easy compared to the next step. Once we get all the way to the top of the weapon, we've got to go in reverse. If you play a musical instrument where you have to use your fingers in a way, kind of like playing the piano or something, this is maybe a little bit easier for you, but it's a really great, you got there. It's a really great exercise. You do have long fingers. And so once you get all the way down to the bottom, 2 more times, right? We're not going to do that, but I've got to be somewhat symmetrical. So while we talk about what we're going to do today, do the other hand too. Make sure that you practice. Even if your dominant hand is your right hand, you still want to practice with your left. So that way you can have some skill with your left hand if this one ever gets injured. South? What's your favorite thing about stick fighting? This?
I like the distance of stick fighting. Oh no!
Told you. Keep going, Sal. Keep talking to him. I'm not sure how many of them are.
I like the range. I'm a long guy, so I like to stay distanced from my opponent, and with the stick I can be even further away than normal. And I like that. Get you
The range. Do push-ups. Okay, so nobody gets away from push-ups when you drop your weapon. Make sure that you are being tough on yourself so you can make yourself stronger in your mind and your body. I think the next thing that I'd like to talk to them about is some wrist strength. So for this one, you just grab the weapon in the middle, and it seems a little silly, but you do this enough times, increases flexibility and the strength. So you just go back and forth, and instead of counting, I think it's best to kind of give yourself a time limit.
Yeah.
Say, okay, I'm gonna do like maybe 30 seconds to this hand, and then you can switch over, which we'll do now. Yeah, cool if you've got a step counter, maybe this will count as steps. Think it would work like that?
I have no idea.
And I will say, if you have 2 of these and you do them both at the same time really fast over your head, you'll fly around.
It's true.
But you have to go really, really, really fast.
I've done it before.
Yeah, I have. I've seen them do it before. I think I was dreaming, but cool. So after you've properly warmed up the wrist and got some strength in your hands, you can also do something called redondos. And so what that looks like is I kind of stand to the side as I'm going to fully rotate the stick all the way down, around, and then you can also reverse that, right? So you kind of whip. These are actually strikes that you would use where you would pop down. Really quick strikes, trying to hit with the very tip of the weapon to maybe shatter bone or disable a hand. Now, one thing that we're not doing is we're not going into OK and spinning it like this. It's not a drumstick, so we're not doing that. Your grip just is not that great here. You want to maintain your grip with as many of your fingers as possible when you do that whole circle strike. The other thing I'm not doing is I'm not leaving it out to the side doing this. I'm trying to keep it as close to my body as possible. Cool. And so practice those, both hands, keeping them really close to the body and trying. You have to open the fingers a little bit, don't you? I mean, but I'm not going okay and just spinning around because that's lazy and it's also not good for them. It's not developing good grip training when you do that. I remember advanced kids, do you want to talk to them a little bit about the grip and the distance that we want to hold the weapon at?
Yes, sir. So we want to stay a fist away from the bottom. So if I have two fists and I take away the bottom one, that's how far away from the bottom you should be. We don't want to be too close to the bottom because there's a chance that it could just slip out. So if we're up a fist away, it gives us a better grip.
Also hit me with it.
Sure, I can use this as a weapon called the poño.
Hook me.
Oh.
What are you hooking me? Advanced kids needs to know, at least green, needs to know 1 through 5 striking.
Yes, sir.
Right? And we are going to mirror this so that the weapon will be on our left hand, but just understand that you need to work with it in your right hand to begin with. And South, do you want to talk to them a little bit about what you got going on there?
So I have a V in front of me, and this is the way of stepping that we're going to use. So whenever I step out to my right, I'm going to step out to the top of the V. Whenever I step out to the left, I'll put my feet back together and I'll step out. This is the female way of stepping, which we use because our teacher is a female. But the male way of stepping is just the opposite. So I would step back and step back.
Awesome. All right, let's mirror it up. Do you want to talk
Yes.
about strikes? I've had enough speaking for now. I'm sure
Sure,
you're tired
sure.
of hearing me.
Okay, so we're gonna do 1 through 5 striking. So first thing we wanna do is we wanna take our right foot and we wanna step it out towards the top of that V, and we wanna swing at our head. And then I wanna bring it to the other shoulder. And then I wanna step feet together, step out on the other side of the V, and twist and swing. So those are both to the head. And then I wanna step feet together and step out. And number 3 is gonna be to the body. So I wanna swing a little bit lower. And then this time I wanna tuck it underneath my elbow here. Then I wanna step feet together, step out on the V, and again to the body. So swing low. And notice this time I bring it back. This is to prepare for strike 5. So I'm gonna step feet together and then step out, and I'm gonna jab. And then you can do a back up.
Cool. Let's do it a couple more times for them.
Awesome. So step out, 1, and step out again, 2, and step out, 3, step, 4, and then step for 5.
Cool. Again, let's do it. Head. Other side, head. Body. Body. Jab. And then redondo up. Pretty cool. So that should give you something to practice, and if you practice it and you're just like, man, we've done this 100 times, I'm getting bored of it. No, it's the basic. You need to do them until your hands are bleeding.
Yes.
Right? If you have a partner that you trust and they trust you, you can also use them as what we call kind of target practice. Now, again, this is why it's an advanced student skill, because you have to trust your partner not to hit you. So maybe some adult supervision if you're a sibling, or maybe don't hit your training partner. If you hit your training partner, they will not want to train with you again, and it won't be as good as it could be. So for that, I trust Mr. Southern. So I'll stand just like perfect targeting dummy. Pretty accurate there.
So I'm stepping out on that V. 1 to the head, 2 to the head, 3 to the body, 4 to the body, and then 5, I want to go groin or gut.
Just check out a different perspective. You've seen us mirror that, but let's see him actually do it the standard way. And it might look, his back is going to be towards you, but you'll get a perspective that might kind of help you a little bit here. So again, I'm the targeting dummy.
I'm stepping out on this angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And again, if you have a partner that you can work with, you only have one stick, you could trade the stick over, and then it could be my turn and I'll do the same thing. Now, another thing that you guys need to practice is different types of striking. So what we did was slice through striking just now. There's also what we call sticky striking and bounce back. Let's talk to them about that, Sal. So from that bottom part of that V, I messed up Mr. South's V.
It's okay.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't need a V anymore.
The other thing, we talk about taming the hand. You see us keeping our hand up. We don't just want to let our hand kind of hang out lazy. So if, in stick fighting, if my hand is out here, it makes a really great target for Mr. Southern to hit. Also, later on, you're going to use this hand to grab, maybe punch. I mean, you have more than just the weapon when you're holding it. You have lots of other natural weapons on your body that you can use as well. So from that mirrored position, if you see our hand up, you can do this. We've even seen some people do that, but I don't recommend this at all because I just want to use this hand for other stuff. So let's talk about sticky. So step out, number 1, you hit and it gets stuck. Okay, switch your feet, pass through. 2, hit and it gets stuck. Okay, 3, notice that you kind of hold it like a weird pencil, like you're getting ready to write on the wall. 3, stuck, pass through. 4, gets stuck, pass through. 5, you really don't change that much. It already kind of gets stuck anyway. So you need to know that, practice that version of striking as well. In the bounce back, which I think is the most fun, is just what it sounds like. You're going to hit and bounce the weapon back. So have good control with the weapon. Don't sling it. Don't have it flying and break anything in your house. Maybe even practice this weapon stuff outside. It's pretty weather. You can do that. So bounce back. 1, hit and bounce back. Now watch what we do with the weapon though. It changes a little bit. Instead of going all the way over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over the top of my head, step out, number 2 and bounce back. When I go to 3, same thing. Over my head, 3 and bounce back. To go to 4, I just bring it over. 4 and bounce back, and then switch your feet. 5, it's like in and out. I heard that they make good burgers. I've never had one. And go all the way back. Okay. So one more time, let's do sticky and bounce back. I think that would be good for now. I think so too for this class. So it can give you a lot to practice on. So let's do sticky first. 1, stuck. Switch your feet. 2, stuck. Switch your feet. 3, get stuck and bounce back. 4, whoop. And then 5, stuck. Okay, now bounce back. So 1, bounce back. 2, over the head. 3, over the head. 4, bounce back. 5, there you go. Cool. All right, train hard. You guys also go back and you look at the beginner videos too. Don't ever think just because you're a higher belt rank student that you can get away from practicing the basics. It means that you practice the basics more than they have, and you can learn a lot from doing those basics over and over and over again. And we'll keep posting stuff for our advanced kids too.
Yes, sir.
Well, advanced students, not just kids. Cool. All right, thank you.